everybody? It's your boy Icon, and here we are on a Memorial Day weekend, my birthday weekend. My birthday is actually on Memorial Day. But before we get there, we have to stop and talk about a little wrestling, talk about WWE King and Queen of the Ring. So this was a very good pay-per-view. It came on at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., thank God. And, I was happy to see it. I was happy to watch it. I even caught the pre-show. And this was cool because they had Bianca and Jade defend the tag team championship, the women's tag team championships on the pre-show. And I'm just like, wow, like it's very humbling for someone with the stature of like a Bianca Belair and a Jade Cargill to even be okay with doing the pre-show. So I was very appreciative because, people in that position, they could be like, oh, I ain't doing no pre-show, but they did the pre-show, so I was happy for it. And this is your boy again, Icon, with another review for you, with a little wrestling. So if you can, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's talk about a little Backlash. So, like I said, we're not going to go like blow for blow, like move for move, like tit for tat here, but I do want to start out. So again, like the pay-per-view started with the pre-show match that was the women's tag team championship match, and it was Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, which Jade, at the end of the match when they had their post-game interview, Jade called them Candy by mistake, like Candice and Indy together. And I was just like, that actually works as like a legitimate name. But this was a revenge match because Candice was the one who injured Bianca Belair's knee in the Queen of the Ring tournament qualifying matches, which is why she ended up losing to Nia Jax Friday on SmackDown. And then they were talking trash to, Bianca and Jade, like on SmackDown. And then that's when Jade was like, I'm going to talk to Nick Aldis and then give themselves a tag team championship match. So, and it's cool to see that they're actually defending the women's tag team championships because we do have women's tag teams. Like we got Candice and Indy. We got the Unholy Union, which I'm still waiting to see. We got Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, Casey, the Party Girls. You know what I'm saying? Then we even have we have Chelsea Green, we have Piper Niven. So there are girls for them to fight. Like they do have women on the roster for these two to fight. So put these women in some feud. And I mean, I was sad to see because Bianca and Jade obviously won the match, but I was sad to see that they got Candice and Indy out of the way because I actually would have liked to have seen them go on a little bit further, but somebody had to go first, and then we could always come back to them later. But in the end, they ended up using like a new combination tag team finisher where it was like Jade had got Candice up with the legs, and then Bianca grabbed her by the head, hit a DDT, and then she kicked her up with the feet, and then Jade went back with the suplex. So they ended up doing that, and they got the 1-2-3 victory. And it was also nice to see that Indy Hartwell has gone all in with being a heel. When they were doing the heel thing, like Indy Hartwell is so committed now to being a heel. She was literally taunting the children in the front row for like 10 minutes. If you go back and watch the entrance and watch when the two of them got in the ring, she's like making fun of these kids. Like she's telling them like, oh, cry about it. She's telling them that you saw. I'm like, why are we arguing with these children? But so I'm happy to see that too because I like the fact that she's embraced like the heelness. But like I said, the ladies of doom, Bianca and Jade win the match, and now we get to move on to the actual pay-per-view. So the pay-per-view started with Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the women's championship. Before that, there was an interview where Liv was in the back and she was having a conversation. And while she was having a conversation, Dominic Mysterio showed up. And then she was like, why are you here? And then he said, you know why I'm here? He said, I'm here to make sure that you don't walk out of Saudi Arabia or Jeddah with, the women's world championship because it belongs to mommy. Now, during the match, like there was a point where Dominic actually showed up during the match. He came out towards the end. And Liv was talking to the referee, and Dominic took a steel chair, and he slid the steel chair into the ring so Becky can take it and hit her with the chair. Becky obviously wasn't going to do that. So, when she had when the referee was like trying to tell Dominic, like get off the apron, Liv Morgan ended up DDTing Becky with the chair, like, DDTing her head onto the chair. She hit the Oblivion, and then Liv got the 1-2-3, and Liv is now the new world women's champion. Thank goodness. So now Twitter can shut up and stop crying, or X, excuse me. But I was surprised that they did put the belt on her because I knew she was, like, we all knew she was going to get the belt. Like, there was no secret that Liv Morgan was going to get the belt, but I honestly thought they were going to give her the belt at SummerSlam. I thought they were going to drag this out a little bit more. So I guess, like, there's a chase in it now, but then also because of the finals of the Queen of the Ring, I don't know, but it's fine. Like, I have no problem with Liv being the women's world champion. So now she's gonna be on a tirade. Because Becky never should have had it to begin with. But Liv's gonna be on a tirade now. She's gonna tear through the roster, and then eventually Rhea's gonna come back, and then that's gonna be this whole big thing. And when when Rhea does come back, Liv should win the first match. Like when Rhea comes back for her rematch, Liv should win that first fight, but then like lose the second one. So that's it. That was it. So Liv Morgan is your new World Women's Champion. Becky Lynch cursed out Dominic Mysterio backstage, and then Michael Cole said the dumbest thing. He was just like, "Oh, now that Liv is the Women's World Champion, Becky won't be able to compete at SummerSlam." And I'm like, bro, like SummerSlam is in August. Like this is May. Are we trying to say that from May to August, Becky wouldn't get a rematch or Becky wouldn't have another opportunity to become women's champion? So now I'm just like, the fact that you said that, Michael Cole, you just spoiled the entire summer. So now we know Becky's not going to win anything and she's not even going to be involved with the championship at SummerSlam. Thanks a lot. But that was it. And then we're moving on to the next one. Next match was the match that I was actually very intrigued by. It was Bronson Reed versus Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable. Oh, thank you. Like that's my boy. He doesn't do the thank you anymore. And I wish, it's like, I understand he's a heel now. I wish he would still do the thank you, but just do it in a dirtbag, like slow kind of way. Like when he curses out the Alpha Academy, and like he's like say something like, get out there and help me win the world's championship. You got it. And then he's like, we got it, coach. And then he leans in and he goes, thank you. Whatever. I wish that would happen. But then when Chad Gable came out, he did come out with Maxine Dupree and he came out with Otis. So we did get to see Maxine Dupree and what she was wearing, what she would have worn, to Jeddah. But then when they get to the apron, like Chad tells her to take her pasty ass in the back. He was like, bitch, we don't need you. And then she was just like, oh my God. He was like, beat it. So she flew all the way to Saudi Arabia just so Chad could tell her to kick her out. I'm sorry. The whole thing with him disrespecting them, cursing them out, and I love that shit. like I'm like so all in on Chad Gable like being a complete asshole. It's like, it's crazy. So they're having the match. It goes how you want it to go. Crowd obviously was super behind Sami Zayn. And then there was a moment where Bronson Reed was down for the count. Chad and Sami were outside on the floor. And then it's no disqualification because it's a triple threat match. So then Chad had picked Sami up and then told Otis to clothesline him. Otis didn't want to do it. He was having second thoughts. And then Chad cursed him out. And then finally Otis was like, fine, I'll do it. He runs the clothesline. Sami moves out of the way. And he ends up clotheslining like Chad Gable, and he knocks Chad Gable out. Sami gets in the ring, hits the haluva kick on Bronson Reed, and Sami now retains the Intercontinental Championship. It's going to be a very awkward plane ride back to the States, with the Alpha Academy. I mean, he's going to drop them at some point. There's going to be a point where he drops the Alpha Academy and he ends up recruiting the Diamond Mine. And then I'm talking about like the Creeds, Ivy and Ivy Nile. He's going to trade Maxine, Otis, and I forgot, and Tozawa. He's going to trade them in for the Diamond Mine, which will once he does that, once you get Ivy Nile and the Creeds like in a faction with Chad Gable, they've now become a super team. And I hope they don't exclude Ivy Nile from this equation. Like you have to put Ivy Nile in this equation, and then do a whole thing where it's a feud between Chad Gable and the New Academy versus like Maxine and Otis, Tozawa, and whoever else they can get to be on their side. It'd be dope if they get Jason Jordan to come back to help them out, or maybe Kurt Angle. Who knows? But that was it. Sami Zayn's your Intercontinental Champion, and we're moving on to the next match. So now in the next match, I believe it was the finals of the Women's Queen of the Ring, and it was Lyra Valkyria versus Nia Jax. A lot of people are gonna. First of all, actually, I just want to get this out the way. Lyra Valkyria, she showed like when she wrestles, because obviously they're in Saudi Arabia, so the women have to cover up from like chin to toe. And Lyra Valkyria, she usually wrestles in like the wrestling trunks and like the bra, whatever. For some reason, she looked way sexier in the full bodysuit than she ever did wearing her normal ring gear. I loved her Saudi Arabia ring gear. It had like, maybe because Nightwing is my favorite DC character, her finisher's called the Nightwing, and she had like an all black bodysuit with like, it looked like the Nightwing pattern logos like all over the suit. She even came out with the black wings and everything. I thought it was dope. Like I messed with it. Like I messed with it. I thought it was very cool. The two of them had a very good match. I mean, it kind of went the same way you thought it would go. It's like Nia Jax versus like Lyra, so it's like there's a huge like size difference there. Like Nia Jax, she knocked her around a bit. Like Lyra was getting some good offense in. She hit like a bulldog on the floor at one point. She did try to get her up for the Nightwing, which obviously wasn't going to work. But the finish to me was actually pretty dope because Nia had, she went to go for the bonsai drop. And then when she went to the second rope to go for the bonsai, Lyra got up and then she kicked her in the thigh meat. And then Lyra does the thing where she's under Nia Jax. Nia Jax is on the turnbuckle. Lyra's trying to power bomb her off of the turnbuckle onto the mat. But because of the size and the strength difference, she can't get her. She's pulling, and then you can see the strain where she's like pulling and trying to get this girl up so she could powerbomb her. And then all of a sudden, Nia just jumped down and fucking squashed her. And I'm talking about like pancake squashed her. And when she did it, I said, holy, like even the announcers fell out of their seat, and that was good. Like, that was actually good. I can't, like, you knew it was rap. You knew, because, like, she ended this woman's life with that bonsai drop, and then Nia, and it was weird because I don't really want to see Nia Jax versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship, but once Nia crushed Lyra, and then Nia won the match, I was like, I'm actually happy for her. You know, like Triple H gave her the crown. Like she took the knee, she got the crown. You know, he raised her hand and everything, and it was actually cool. Like I can't complain. And then like she gave a speech, and then she's like she's coming for for Bayley. So we'll see what happens. So at least now we know we're getting Bayley versus Nia Jax. And who knows? Because Nia Jax basically beat the awesome threesome, the Black Girl Magic team of Naomi. Like, in order to get to the finals, Nia Jax beat Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair. That was like the WrestleMania super team. So when Nia eventually defeats Bayley, for the WWE Women's Championship, one of those three have to fight her like at some point, because one of those three one of them has to get their revenge on Nia Jax at some point. So that's it. But it was a good match. Can't complain. And we are definitely moving right on to the next one. So then after that, I believe it was the men's King of the Ring final, where it was Randy Orton versus Gunther. It was Gunther versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton took a chop that thought his soul had left his body, and it's weird because Gunther's a tall dude. He's a big dude. Like, he's in shape. Like, he's a scary, dude. Orton looked bigger than him for some reason, and I don't understand how that happened. Like, I don't understand, how Orton looks bigger than Gunther. But, like I said, it was a good match. You can't complain. But Orton, just like Bianca Belair, he was also selling a knee injury. And it was the weirdest thing because towards the end of the match, he went for an RKO, and he pinned him right away, at the end of the match. It's not like there was, time between the RKOs. And then when he pinned him, it's almost like Orton broke up the pin himself because the pain, the knee pain was just too excruciating and he couldn't cover. And I thought that was, really weird. I'm like, why would you pop up, when you've already got him in the pin position just because your knee's hurting? And then Gunther kind of, hooked him, rolled him up for the pin. And then when the referee went to count the three, Orton's right shoulder was up. The referee's looking right at him, and he still counted the three. So I'm like, what the hell? I don't understand what happened with that. I don't understand how the referee didn't see it. I don't understand the point of Orton's shoulder being up. I'm confused. I'm definitely confused, but Gunther's the king of the ring, and for some reason, Gunther refused to put the crown on his head. Triple H gave him the crown. He just held the shit in his hand like it was a lollipop, and then he held it up. He held it in front of him. I was just like, bro, put the goddamn crown on. He just refused to wear the crown. I have no idea what this, I don't know what that was all about, but then Triple H had announced that we're going to get Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship in Glasgow, Scotland, because I guess his elbow's cleared, his arm is healed, and he got the green light from the doctor. So we're gonna get that match because you knew he was gonna be in Glasgow. But yeah, Gunther's the king of the ring. So I don't know if he's gonna face Drew McIntyre or is he gonna face Damian Priest. He might fight CM Punk for all we know. But they said kudos. Can't complain about that. And we're going on to the final match, which was Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. And I mean, there's really not much I can say about the match. Cody beat him. We all knew Cody was going to beat him. It was a good match. I mean, Logan Paul continues to impress. He continues to do the damn thing. You can't take that away from him. I mean, but in the end, the only thing that I thought was weird in the end, the referee got beat up a whole bunch of times, but it took 3 crossroads. Cody used 3 crossroads in the end to beat Logan Paul, and I'm just like, bro, I understand Logan Paul is good and all, but it's Logan Paul. I'm like, you didn't need 3 crossroads. I'm like that. I felt like that was a little overkill, but whatever. I said he got the 1, 2, 3. Cody's still the WWE champion, and now we get to see who his next. I'm looking forward to see who his next challenger is because I said Logan Paul was basically a stepping stone just to have a big name in a match. But I said but that was it. That was how the pay-per-view ended, and thank you for tuning in. So there was no WWE Women's Championship match. Bayley did not defend the belt. Damian Priest didn't defend the belt. Neither of the tag team champions defended the belt. So a lot of belts weren't on the line, but it was 6 matches. There's like, 6 matches including the pre-show, so can't complain about that. Definitely a good pay-per-view. Like I give it an 8 out of 10, and it was nice to see the emotion from from the people that win. It's nice to see the king and the queen of the ring actually mean something with them getting the championship match. So I look forward to the next pay-per-view, which is June 15th in Glasgow, Scotland. So like I said, so share your questions, comments, and or concerns down below. What did you think about this particular pay-per-view, the king and queen of the ring? And we will continue to talk about it. Check out my YouTube channel, because My Adventures of Superman is now on the channel. We were able to get an early screening of the first 2 episodes. The show actually airs on the 25th, May 25th, Saturday, which is today, the day I'm recording this. And my first review for episode 1 is going to go up at 11 o'clock as soon as the 1-hour premiere is over. So definitely check that out. Check out my other reviews for X-Men 1997 as we roll on for some more goodness and more content for all the people out there in the world. So that was it, guys. So take care. Until next time, for the king and the queen of the ring, we're out this.